Way, way before manifestation and the law of attraction were all over the internet, a 19th century writer named Prentice Mulford was already laying the groundwork. So today, we're going to dive into his incredible book, Your Forces and How to Use Them, to really get to the heart of the radical ideas that kind of started it all. All right, let's just jump right in with the absolute core idea Mulford throws at us. He wants you to imagine something pretty wild. What if your thoughts weren't just these little fleeting sparks in your brain? What if they were actual physical things with as much substance and force as a rock or a tree? Now, to really get a handle on his framework, we have to understand this fundamental split he makes. Mulford starts by dividing our entire existence into two parts: who we really are and the physical body we're walking around in. And Mulford's take is super clear on this. He says your real self, your spirit, that's the invisible power, the thing that moves. And your body, well, that's just the machine it operates. It's kind of like you're the carpenter, and your body is just the hammer you use to build your life. It's a tool. Okay, so this whole mind-body split is what leads us to Mulford's most revolutionary claim. This is the one that his entire philosophy is built on. When Mulford says thoughts are things, you have to understand he means it literally. He's not talking about some abstract idea. He's describing thoughts as actual constructions made of some kind of unseen element, just as real as a flower or a clock on your wall. So if thoughts are things, how do they get around? Well, Mulford calls them thought currents. He says your mood basically acts like a magnet. So if you're feeling angry or annoyed, you're essentially tuning your mind to that frequency. And in doing so, you attract these angry thought currents from all over the world, which just fuels your own irritation even more. So the really crucial thing to get here is that thoughts aren't passive. Nope, they are active magnets. He even says that speaking them out loud gives them more force. And if you hold on to a purpose and you're persistent about it, you create this powerful, real, attractive force that is constantly drawing help to you. Okay, so if our thoughts are these real, powerful forces flying all over the place, the big question is, how do we actually use them? Well, this is where Mulford gets really practical. He gives us a step-by-step guide for how to harness all this power. He calls this process mental demand, and it's basically a three-step deal. First, you figure out a quality you feel like you're lacking, like courage or patience. Then, and this is key, you don't just wish for it, you demand it, imperiously and persistently. He says this action attracts the actual real element of courage from the universe right to you. I mean, this quote really captures the intensity he's talking about, right? It's not some gentle request. It's not a hopeful wish. This imperious and persistent demand, that's what he believes creates the magnetic pull. It's like you're treating qualities like patience or courage as real substances you can actually attract into your life. Now, to make these demands actually work, Mulford lists out a few mental disciplines. And if you look closely, you'll see they're all about one thing: not wasting your mental force. Focusing on one thing at a time, letting go of worry, even keeping your purpose a secret. It's all about concentrating that drawing power instead of letting it leak out all over the place. This slide just perfectly nails the two outcomes of that choice. According to Mulford, if you have a persistent purpose, it's like an active magnet, constantly working for you in the background. But the second you give up on it, you don't just stop moving forward. You actually destroy the unseen power you've already built up. It all just vanishes. So where does all this mental discipline and demanding actually lead? Well, according to Mulford, it leads directly to real, tangible, physical results that shape not just your experiences, but your actual body and your environment. And he does not mince words here. He basically argues that your habitual thoughts, that mental state you live in most of the time, it literally determines the expression on your face, the health of your body, and even how quickly you appear to age. Just look at how Mulford frames aging here. He's saying that if you're constantly creating a mental blueprint of yourself as old and frail, your mind, being the dutiful builder that it is, will just build that reality for your body. You are, in a very real sense, making yourself old. But then, here's the powerful flip side to that. He says you can create a totally different plan, a mental construction of constant health and energy. And if you stick to that blueprint and you actively refuse the common belief that you have to decline, you can actually override the typical physical process of aging. And this same idea applies to everything, not just health.
He sees sickness as a battle between your spirit and your old limiting beliefs. He thinks prayer is just directed thought force. So his advice is simple: live in mind in the better house, or be rich in spirit first, and your own forces will eventually create those physical conditions for you.
So here it is, the crucial point. Mulford's entire philosophy really boils down to this one idea. Your dominant mental state isn't just a feeling, it's an active workshop. It is a force that is literally constructing the physical reality of your future, right now, in advance. Ultimately, these wild 19th century ideas leave us with a very modern and very personal challenge. If every single thought is a real thing, a building block for your future, what kind of world are you creating for yourself right now, in this very moment?